Welcome back, everybody. There's brand new firmware for the Jfet 3, which I want to take a look at, and I also want to show you a couple of cool little tricks that I've been playing around with since the last firmware 12.08. Now, 12.09, the main feature is that it touts improved amp modeling. So what I did before I updated was I played through a couple of my favorite amps, the Bassman, the Plexi, and the Dual Rectifier model. I recorded some clips, I recorded a DI, and then I updated and I reamped those tracks. So I'm just going to play those back to back for you. Have a listen out for basically the high end. I think the high end sounds a little bit different in the 1209 clips. Decide for yourself. Now those particular amps I chose because of the extra high-end content in there, and I left the cab block high cut wide open, which I wouldn't normally do, but you can hear there is a very subtle change in there. In my opinion, the 1209 stuff was just kind of like more pleasant on the ears, especially at high volumes. So you can grab the update and decide for yourself. I think it sounds really nice. There's a couple of little fixes as well, but let's talk now about stuff that was in 1208 that's now in 1209, and one trick you can do with this new Jfet compressor type, basically stack two of them together. So it's like the old stacking 1176's studio trick. So I've got the Bassman model dialed up at the moment. Let's just hear that without the compressors. And there's a big hall reverb on there. We'll talk about that in a second as well. But that's a really fun little trick. Essentially, the first compressor in there, I've set up, as you can see, the compression is higher. The attack time is a little bit slower than the second compressor, which has a really fast attack time and a really long release time in there. And I'm just compensating for the level. So we'll hear, again, dry, first comp, second comp. Now, listening to that, I really like the tone without the compressors on. It's a very different thing with them on. You can hear there's a little bit less grit, and obviously there's kind of less dynamic range going on in there. But it's a really cool effect. And another thing you can do is kind of play around with the different settings in there. One thing that I did, that's on a Plexi. That's got quite a bit of noise going on, as you would expect. Where is this? Number 2. The clean OD style settings. So I basically kind of just looked these up on the internet and tried to replicate them. So the first compressor has a really fast attack time and the long release time now, and the second compressor basically has the same settings. And this is really, really nice under the fingers if you kind of want all the benefits of a high gain sound without the distortion. Lots and lots of sweet sustain going on there. So I'll put this preset up on Axe Change so that you guys can play around with it. And am I using a user cab? I am using a user cab. What kind of maniac uses a Bassman with a Marshall 4x12? But you know, I always do this. And let's talk about the reverb really quickly now before we hear some more compressors. I've got on the ultra high quality, but there's a new Reverb Economy mode that was added in 1208. It's on the FM3 as well. And you know, with this kind of reverb, this is probably more reverb than I would actually use in a live setting, but let's just have a listen to the difference between the ultra high and then the economy. They definitely sound a little bit different, but it is a subtle difference. And if you're running a really, really big preset and the ultra high quality reverb, or even, you know, the normal quality, the high quality is kicking you over the edge, then using the economy mode, I don't think is too much of a compromise. Between economy and ultra high, it's somewhere between like 7, 8, 9% CPU saving, which might be space for an extra block or something like that. So that's kind of cool in there. And let's go back now and talk about these stacked compressors. One of the other settings that I had, sorry that I'm jumping all over the place, is this kind of like parallel compression where you just basically set the mix in each of these to be about 50%. So let's do this. Let's hear the stacked setting, then we'll hear the like clean OD setting, and then we'll hear this parallel comp. Kind of different things going on. They feel different under your fingers. That's what I get for trying to play country guitar. Let's hear it, the stack setting into a plexi though. This is... And you know, by the nature of, if you think about what's happening here with these stack compressors, you might have to adjust the input gate to get rid of a little bit of that noise, but you know, I can live with this. It's pretty fun into like a Tweed Deluxe model as well, because the Tweed Deluxe kind of falls apart naturally in the low end if I turn the comps off, and it's super fun with the stacked comps in there. That's some good stuff right there. One final little thing is that if we throw, let's go back to that kind of stacked Bassman thing that we had going on, throwing an overdrive in front of this is even more responsive now. I'll turn the compressors off. So let's have a listen to the Bassman on its own, then I'll add the good old Tone of Kings. Oh, that feels so, so good to play. This feels like a good place to finish up the video. I hope you enjoyed my ramblings with this new firmware. As always, update with FractalBot. You can go to the website or the forum to get the new firmware. I will put this preset up on the Exchange website, so you have to go to the website to download this one, and the user cab is also available as well. I'll just play you out with this tone because I'm loving it.